First of all, I'm sorry, I'm not a native speaker, so and I'm a little bit stressed, so I can misspell some words and so on. So please, thank you and be understanding. I wanted to come to you with and talk about one skill, assertiveness, because this is something I practice a lot, especially during the pandemic times and working remotely. And I thought that I will share some tips with you. But before we start, I wanted to ask you to prepare your phones, because I will have a lot of things that I think you'd like to take home with you. So I know the presentation will be shared, but maybe it will be, something good for you as a follow-up. And at the end, I have a homework for you. So it will be nice if you do it. If not, I will send it to you directly if you let me know. So first of all, I wanted to ask you, do you feel that you're assertive? So why are you here? If you're saying yes. I know, to help your friends, right? I'm always helping my friends with assertiveness skill. So I wanted to share with you two definitions. I could not find one that would fully and completely share what I think about assertiveness. So the first one is from Wikipedia, of course. But what I wanted you to remember from it is that this is the skill. And this is the skill that can be learned. So this is what we will focus a little bit about today. But the definition I really wanted to take you to, with yourself, it's that this is a communication style. And it's being able to express your feelings, thoughts, beliefs, and opinions in an open manner that does not violate the rights of others. And I hope that even in the last rows you can see the bottom of my presentation. Can you? If not, so in the middle, it's shown like the person that it's assertive, so respects own needs, but also needs of others. If you look at the right, there is people that feel a little bit aggressive when they communicate because they put own needs as a priority without thinking about others. There is also the left side, so people that are passive. And sometimes we behave like that when we violate our own needs, when someone pushes us to do something. So I showed you two definitions, and I don't know if you noticed, but in none of them, it was anything about saying no. And this is common myth. Assertiveness, it's not saying no, it's one of the skills, but it's a lot more. So I wanted to show you what skills assertive people have, and also the characteristics of assertive people. And this is the place to make some photos. Oh, thank you. So first of all, the skills of assertive people. There will be a lot of things on the slide. I'm sorry, I could not put it in several of them. But first of all, it's saying no, of course. But not only. There will be a lot of things here. So it's giving compliments. Did you ever thought that being assertive, it's also giving compliments to others? Cool. Expressing your own opinion, as we already said. Asking for help. Expressing anger, expressing affection, stating your rights and needs. And it's extremely important right now. Giving criticism, not also doing, but also being criticized and reacting on that. So as you see, those are all the skills that are associated with assertive people. And of course, we may have some of those skills developed in a real high level, but some of them we may be lacking a little bit. So this will be the part of the homework at the end, so we'll get back to that. There is also one thing that I wanted to show you here, that is also a skill of starting and keeping the conversation going. So this is the skill that you can practice for the next 1.5 days. So please find someone that you don't know, and start this conversation and make it going. So we will have some breaks after that. I'll try to finish on time, so you will have this 5 minutes changing room as well to practice, okay? Okay. So there are some characteristics of people that we recognize as assertive. And when we think about it, it's like that they know what respect really is. So if we think about assertive people, they're really often respectful when we talk with them, when we work with them. They really relate sincerely to others. Sometimes we think about them as people that that have huge empathy. They understand, accept, and value themselves. And it doesn't mean that they, think that they're too proud. They value themselves. And they have a self-control and emotional stability, especially when they're angry, scared, stressed. This is the characteristic as well. And they cultivate their ability to communicate. So this is the skills, the characteristics of assertive people. And they know how to draw limits. Sometimes to draw those limits, it's important to know how to say no, but not always. And they are, and this is the most important thing, emotionally independent. So those are the characteristics that were checked. I always put the links at the bottom. There will be also a slide at the end with all the articles or the researches that were made around assertiveness and the skills around it. So you'll have it there. So there is one thing that, did you manage? So there is one thing that I wanted to re-share with you, and this is the rights you have as an assertive person. Did you ever seen or heard about the rights that you have? One person raised a hand. Perfect, at least one. So from today, no excuse, you all saw it. So you have, there is a bill of assertive rights, and first of it, it's you have the right to judge your own behavior, thoughts, and emotions, and take responsibility for it, for the consequences upon yourself. But you're responsible to judge it, because only you know the background, why you make those behaviors, like decisions and so on. You have the right to offer no reason or excuses for justifying your behaviors. I think it's really often at work when we are asked, oh, you have a bad day, why? We don't need to say why. You can, you don't need to. This is the difference. You have the right to judge if you're responsible for finding solutions to others' people's problem. This is your right, to not be pushed into finding this. You can, you don't have to. You have the right to change your mind. So you can agree on something and they say, I don't do it, or I don't like it anymore. You have the right to change your mind, and it's okay. You have the right to make mistakes, and of course take responsibility for them. We're, older here, so unfortunately. You have the right to say, I don't know. And this is really important because I don't know if it's the same in Hungary, but in Poland, this is one of the things that we don't say at work. We should never say that we don't know something. We always know, right? So it's important to know that sometimes it's better to just say that we don't know. You have the right to be independent of the goodwill of others before coping with them. And one more, you have the right to be illogical in making decisions. I really like it. Sometimes we may feel, others may feel that we are illogical when we make decisions. Do you agree with those? As for now? Cool. So I have two more. You have the right to say, I don't understand. Do you say it at work? Cool. And the last one, you have the right to say, I don't care. Did you use it at work last year? Yes. Cool. Good for you. So this is the right, 10 rights of bill of assertive people, and I want you to take it home with you. This is something I have next to my screen, to not have this feeling that something is bad when I'm saying that I don't know, I don't want something, when I make decisions and they're hectic. So I feel good with my decisions and what I'm saying. And I wanted to share with you some situations I'm facing. So first one will be funny. So I don't drink coffee or beer, except one kind, Kriek. So, especially here in a country that is famous for good coffee, right? It seems weird. But somehow, under coffee and beer, there is such a huge culture around the world. So everyone, for years, is pushing me, really often, to try it. Because maybe I will change my mind. Try this coffee, it does not taste like coffee. Try this beer, it does not taste like beer. Oh, this is latte, flat white, like cappuccino, you won't feel coffee. Yes, I feel it even in tiramisu. I don't eat it. I don't like it. So this is the way how I practice my assertiveness skills. You know, sometimes I get angry because of all those questions and people that push me with that. And, you know, Veer, so please don't do it during the evening. I know there will be wine. But this is the way how I practice my assertiveness skills. So maybe there is something that you don't like or you don't do, and people are pushing you into it. And you can practice your communication skills around it, so you practice your assertiveness with it. So this is one of the things I do. There is one more, taking this responsibility. So I'm an achiever. If I take a task, I will achieve it. If I take a task with a team, if the team do nothing, I will do everything for everyone else. I'm aware of it. So because I'm aware of it, it's so hard for me to take the responsibility for something. So I needed to figure it out the way how to take this responsibility when I'm okay with it. So I'm pretty sure some of you feel the same. Like, you know, when you are in a meeting and like it's said that we should do something, and there is this awkward silence. This awkward silence means like it's a, you know, now it's a pushback. Who will be the weak one? Who will say, okay, I will do it, right? So I'm that person. I can't stand this silence. But then I feel bad with myself because maybe it's not something I really wanted to do. So this is where I practice my assertiveness skill. To first of all, feel okay with the silence if it's not the task I want to do. Second of all, to have time to ask myself what value it will bring for myself or for my team or for my company. Do I really want to do it? Or should I do it in a certain way? And I wanted to share with you some ways how to communicate within being assertive. So first of all, 7 tips for communicating more assertively. And I added one thing. So first of all, get in touch with your own needs, but also with your own values. And I will give you an example. For me, values is like family, my time off, and so on. So when those tasks and this awkward silence come, I know that, will I have time for it? Do I want to do it? Weekends, like evenings? No? Okay. Be confident if your ask is reasonable. So if you ask someone, you know, we don't have this hesitation where we ask for directions, for like how to get somewhere, but we have those hesitations at work. So like, try not to have it. See the other's perspective, like point of view. Maybe they push you for something because you can ask additional questions there. Signal flexibility by providing options. So for example, I don't do it, but maybe we can do it together, or maybe we can split responsibility. Maybe we can organize in a different way. Keep your delivery calm. Don't be aggressive, don't be unnice. Please try. This is what we'll practice. It will give you, it will be a challenge, but it will give you some heads up. Make yourself the scapegoat. So the scapegoat, like later you can Google, but this is the person that you take responsibility for stuff. I'm not afraid of taking responsibility for failing or not taking the task. It's okay. It's good. Nothing happens. No one died, right? So it's good. And the last one, use the broken record technique. If you say no, for example, on something, or you don't like to do something, or you don't want promotion, or you don't want career change, say it 1 time, 2nd time, 3rd time, 4th time, 7 times if needed. It really works. Believe me, I tried it with many of my bosses in the past. So I already told some of the tips how I communicate and how I do it, but I put those that I use the most often. So first of all, questions. So when someone asks me to do something, I use these techniques of 3 whys to really understand why it's needed, and when it's expected, and how. I really ask those questions. Each time when I have a feeling that someone violates my needs or my borders, on something, I don't feel good with it, then I start asking questions. So you can use the same to understand deeper what are the reasons, why, when, how, and how to do it. The next thing, I say that I have a policy or I have a rule. Situation when I use it was like, we had to stay longer after work to do some extra work. You know, there is no discussion if you reply with, I have a policy that I don't work with during the evenings. Or I have a rule that I spend my weekends with my child. No discussion after that. So don't overuse it. But sometimes this is a really good sentence to use, that you have a policy, you have a rule, you don't cross rules, right? If you have it, especially if you really have them. And the last one is to propose options, as I already said. So, for example, right now, one of the product managers from one of the teams I'm taking care of is leaving the company. And I was asked to take over. I'm not a product manager. So I said that, okay, let's think about options. There is other product managers that they can take over and maybe I can support. There are other people that maybe would like to become product managers in the future. Not me. I don't want to take this responsibility. So always try to think of an options. So as I promised, there is a homework. I hope you will do it. So first of all, I wanted to remind you that each one of us, we are responsible for our own well-being, happiness, and success in life. No one will do it for you. So if you think that someone crossed your borders, it's your job to say no, or to work on the skills to not violate your rules. And the homework for you is I showed you those are the skills that assertive people have. If you want to have a photo, just ping me on LinkedIn, I will send you the link. So please fill it out and mark how is your skills doing in terms of different people that you like cooperate with. So with your friends, with your partners, with your work colleagues, with your boss, with strangers, with shop assistants. Some people put extra rows like children, animals. And you will see the results that you're not perfect everywhere, and you will have a guidance where to start work on and like what skills you can work on to be better as an assertive person. Anyone has it? Okay, cool. So thank you very much. And if you have like reminder about Slido, if you have any questions, let's use it.
Thank you very much, Marta. Thank you, everyone. Yes, please rate the talk as well in Slido, so don't forget that one. And we have a few questions already. I would combine the first two. So what is your recommended way of talking to an aggressive, dominant people, and when we encounter a stubborn colleague? Okay. Maybe these are the same.
So sometimes I'm aggressive and stubborn. So for me, it's easier to understand those people, you know? So, of course, you can tell them that let's come back to this conversation after the emotions will go down. Or make a break. That is the first thing that will help. Many people are aggressive because they don't have enough water in their body. This is the truth. So you can propose a break to go for a tea, like water, whatever. I know it sounds stupid, but this is really working. So when you have aggressive, especially aggressive, this is not the things you should accept. And this is the reaction you should have. So if someone yells at you, if someone is really aggressive, you stop them right now, there. It's not something you should ever accept. And you can come back to the conversation if you want, after the emotions are down. This is how I work.
Thank you very much. Next one is from Steve Watson. I love the rights, but what advice do you have about how we can exercise this without it being a career limiting factor?
So this is why I said that it's worth to print it and put it next to the screen. To feel first, have the feeling that you feel good with it when you're like behaving in certain ways. But the homework is really good. To first of all, understand what skills, like where are you with different skills compared to the relationship you have with different people. And then when you address those skills, and yesterday we had it on a workshop that, that you do the actions around the skills you want to work at. When you spend some time and work on it, compared to the relationship we have with certain people, that will really, really help. And those rights will naturally come. It will be very natural, you'll see. And you said you're assertive, so you already have it.
Thank you very much. One more we have from David Shaibu. Not sure on the right to offer no reason or excuses for justifying your behavior. Doesn't that one actually clash with being transparent and taking responsibility? Of
course it's being polite. And we try to be polite people. This is why we excuse ourselves. But no one in the whole world should push you to say, what are the reasons? Sometimes you just don't want to share them. And no one have the right to push you, why you behave in a certain way, if you're not ready to say it. And I'm saying that because, for example, I had a friend that he needed some time off because he had some really hard medical issues he had to take care of. He just did not want to share it with everyone. And this is his right. So if someone asks you and you don't want to say, politely say that, I'm sorry, I don't want to share it with you now. And it's okay. You set the borders.
Thank you very much. Maybe one more quick question, what made you start talking about assertiveness?
So I have it from the childhood. So my parents were really teaching me how to be assertive, especially my mom. So I'm assertive, and I have it from the childhood, so it's easier for me. And I noticed that it's not often within people in IT that they are assertive. It's easy to push them to do stuff. It's really easy to push majority of us. And I noticed that I'm the only one that say no to the tasks, or hesitating, or not saying, yeah, I will do it. I'm really often hesitating or expressing and asking questions and putting options and so on. And really often I'm the only one. So this is why I started actually last year, and I thought that maybe this is something we all need to prove a little bit, and the world will be better for all of us.